Right, let's get into picking our team then for the game with Benfica. I'm going to say Alisson's going to be in goal. Kai, you can lead us on the back four. What are you thinking?
Yeah, agree with that with Alisson in goal. I am going to make wholesale changes to the back four, probably barring. I'll leave Matip in because I think Gorsty's point actually it hadn't really occurred to me. But if you're going to rest Van Dijk, this is probably the last game in the season where you might be able to do that. From here on in, excuse me, from here on in, you're looking at FA Cup semi-finals, and every game is a final in the league essentially. So I think this is the last opportunity to maybe rest Van Dijk. So I'll go with Milner at right back, give Trent a rest. I think the same applies to him, and then Matip and no, do you know what? I'll rest Matip as well. I'm going to go Konate and Gomez centre back. Gomez had a good game at right back when he came in. Got that great assist for Jota last week, but give him a run in his preferred position, centre back with Konate, and then Tsimikas in for Robertson left back.
Dan, what are you thinking? You're going to change the full back four? What about the goalkeeper as well?
No, certainly wouldn't change the goalkeeper. I would be inclined to definitely give Trent and Robert a rest at fullback, and Tsimikas in. I'd be maybe more inclined to have Gomez again at right back, because I think potentially he's the next cab off the rank in that position. Should Trent get an injury, and I think it's good for him to be get his rhythm there. And yeah, two from three at centre back. I can see the benefit in giving Van Dijk a rest. He did look, I think that was one of the shocking things about the first half yesterday. You're so unused to seeing him look flustered like that. So maybe
a couple of times as well.
Well, and he showed in the second half when he motored through the gears and took that one off Sterling, like taking candy off a baby. That he's still big Virgil at the back. But yeah, at the I wouldn't necessarily be inclined to give him a rest. I think I'd play him and Konate.
Nice one.
Yeah, I think I'd do the same, actually. I think Gomez has kind of nudged ahead of the pack now, hasn't he, in terms of being the other right back. Milner had to go there. Connor Bradley's played there. Nico Williams has gone out on loan. But I think Gomez did a decent impression of Trent, if we're honest, against Watford recently. So I'd put him at right back. I'd have Tsimikas on the left, and I'd bring in Konate, and I'd keep Van Dijk in there, because 9 times out of 10 he barely breaks a sweat anyway, does he? So I don't think there's going to be too many issues of overusing Van Dijk. So that'd be my back five.
Right, cool. Dan, midfield three.
Well, I'd give Naby Keita a game. I think that he probably can't have been too far away from getting a start yesterday. He's been in really good form lately. He was outstanding in the first leg. Fabinho didn't have his greatest game at City, did he? He improved a bit second half. He looked a bit off it. And just thinking then, we were talking about Van Dijk, and obviously we've all mentioned about fatigue and all these matches left, right and centre. It's not just physical fatigue; it's mental fatigue. It's the intensity that these lads put themselves under day after day, week after week. They're knowing what all these matches mean. So I think it's important that that's kind of taken into account as well. So I'd probably maybe give Fabinho a rest. Henderson, Keita, and Curtis Jones for me.
Right, okay. Gorsty, come to you on that midfield three.
Yeah, just as Dan was talking, I was weighing it up myself. Just to be a little bit contrarian, I'd put Fabinho in instead of Henderson, but certainly Keita, and I think you can make a case for Jones as well.
Are you in agreement with Gorsty or Dan, or are you ripping that up as well?
I'm going with Jordan Henderson. He's not had too many 90 minutes as he in the last few days. I think he was came off against City, and was he benched the game before that, Benfica, I think. So
yeah.
So I think he could probably do with a start and maybe a 90 here. And then Naby Keita was brilliant against Benfica and unlucky to be dropped yesterday, so he comes back in. It's a choice. You've got so many options there. Harvey Elliott could come in. Oxlade-Chamberlain, as Dan said earlier, hasn't had much game time at all. I'll go with Curtis Jones as well, I think. So Jones, Keita, Henderson.
Actually, I've changed my mind. I want Chamberlain instead of Jones. I forgot about him. I can't big him up and then ignore him for this Benfica game, can
I? Dan, it's over to you next anyway. You can crowbar him into your front three if you want, or is it Divock time?
Well, I mean, the front three's interesting. I talked to chatting on the way down yesterday, and if yesterday's front three was picked on form, Mo Salah wouldn't have been in it. And it didn't. He was great at half time, but in the first half, but he showed his mettle. He showed what a big game player is. He proved Klopp's decision correct, really, with that sublime assist for Mane, which obviously was a huge moment in the match. If Liverpool, even if that had taken 2-1 for 10 minutes into the second half, could have been a totally different game. But he's obviously not at his best. He hasn't scored an open play since February, is it? So I definitely give Mo a rest, night off, put your feet up, watch Corrie and whatever. Diaz comes back in. We're playing a weaker team, but I wouldn't go too light up top because obviously the key to this is getting the game won, and hopefully a couple of early goals will just hopefully enable them to manage the game and manage legs in advance of Saturday. So up front, I'm going Diaz, Mane, who I thought was magnificent yesterday, the best player on the pitch, a magnificent career he's had for Liverpool, but I think that was one of his best ever performances. His touch, his hold-up play, his strength, his aggression, obviously a superb finish. He seems bang in form, so I'd actually start him, hopefully get himself a couple of goals early on, and then get wrapped up on the bench. Diaz, Mane, and Jota.
Okay, Ghosty.
See, I'm not too sure. I just think Jota's utterly redundant now if he's not down the middle. But you can't put Firmino in one of them wide areas either. So I'd have Salah on the bench, but I'm not completely giving him the night off. Just a bit of an insurance policy. So I don't know. I might have to go Mane down the right, Diaz on the left, and Firmino through the middle. Not ideal for Mane, but
could Diaz not play on the right though? Because he has been very interchangeable. I know he came in with the hype of being an out-and-out left-sided, right-footed player.
I mean, I suppose he could, but he hasn't played there once, has he? Since he's been in the field, at least Mane played there in his first season before Salah signed. So it's not ideal, but I think he's probably the best of the rest outside of obviously Salah playing on the right.
Okay, Kai, what about yourself?
Yeah, Salah's at home with his feet up, Coronation Book Street, book set on. So Book Street. I'd have Mane on the bench again, just give him a rest, but there for that insurance policy, like Gorsty said, I think have him in the squad if you need him. 5 subs, of course, as well, so lots of opportunities to change even at half time if the game's won. So Firmino down the middle, Diaz on the left, and I will bring Minamino in from the cold, I think, just to rest some of our legs for this big 6 weeks we got coming up.
Do you not go with Bobby Firmino, no?
Firmino down the middle, yeah.
I thought you said Minamino.
Minamino right, Firmino middle, Diaz left.
Right, there we go. Right, fair play. We got there in the end. Right, what about the result then? Go Gorsty down, and then Kai, you finish off.
I think it might just be a nice and routine 2-0 early goal, and then at some point in the second half.
Dan?
3-1 Liverpool.
Kai?
Repeat of the first leg.
2-0 Liverpool.
2-0. Right, we'll have to wait and see how it does play out. Of course, there will be plenty of build-up coverage and reaction across the Liverpool Echo website. As to will there be across the Blood Red channel as well as across our podcast feed as well, with the post-game podcast coming after the game. But for myself, Guy Clark, Kai Delaney, Dan Kay and Paul Gorse, thanks for your time and your company. It's bye for now.